Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Alchemy Lounge podcast. I am very giddy today because I am with a very like-minded, beautiful soul who is going to talk to us about lots of wonderful things relating to manifestation. We have the lovely Karena Sophia. And would you like to say hello to our gorgeous listeners, Karena?
Hello, welcome. Thank you for having me. So I'm Karena Sophia. I am a Feng Shui consultant, master, and manifestation coach. And I help people to change their environments, raise the vibration of their environment so that it supports them so that they can manifest their best lives. The easy way.
Yay.
20 to 30 minutes a day is all it takes. You don't need days and days and days and weeks and months to declutter and all the things that you hear about Feng Shui. It's not true. We're going to set the record straight today.
Yes, so excited for this because I think that's one of the biggest things that people think. I don't have time to go and do this and like redesign my entire home or my life. So
yes.
Put people off. Really random fun fact. When I first discovered Feng Shui, I used to call it Feng Shui.
Lots of
I was only a teenager and I got a book on it and I was like, Feng Shui, I'm going to Feng Shui the house.
I still know people who do that.
I completely changed my bedroom around. So it was my teenage bedroom, still had a single bed. And I was like, I have to move my bed because it was against the wall where the door was. So mum comes home and I'm like there trying to like move my bed and furniture. And I'm like, I'm doing Feng Shui. She's like, okay.
Well, I don't mind what people call it.
It's amazing regardless. No matter the name, it's amazing. So how did you first come across this? Because it is a very kind of unique modality, but I love that you've brought it together with manifestation because that's such a brilliant connection. But how did you first kind of come across it?
I first came across it when I was trying to get pregnant when I was 23.
Oh.
Wow, 23, 24. I got married young. And my sister had a baby and I wanted to get pregnant. And it took me quite a while, over a year. And I got to the point where I was thinking, well, is there something wrong? I don't understand what's happening. So I started to buy Feng Shui books. And I first set up my home. I put more red in my room. I put up, I believe now in creating a home that suits your identity, that matches the identity of the life or the person that you want to become. So I had all these visions of children and I decided that I wanted to manifest twin girls. And I got a little statue of twin girls and I put it in my home.
Oh.
And obviously it took a while to get pregnant. So I placed this thing there. I did get pregnant with twin girls, and after I gave birth, they were about 7 or 8, I think. And I remember looking at this statue. One of them's got slightly shorter than the other. One of them's got short hair. One of them's got long hair. I looked at this statue, and it was pretty much exactly what my children were. But I find with my clients now as well that they only tend to come to me and they're desperate. But they tried everything else.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. It worked then. And then 2020, I went through a divorce. We're trying to sell the house. I'd kind of not really used it massively. I went back into using it again and I sold my house within 5 days. It had been on the market for 11 months. It is incredible. And then again, I moved home. When I moved into this house, I manifested this house, and I started when I was 2020, into meditation. I found a spiritual master. I went all through manifestation, doing Bob Proctor courses, spent thousands of pounds, Tony Robbins courses, this spiritual master. I learned NLP, I learned rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, and I was still getting to a point where I'd even left my job and started my business, but I felt like I was pushing against these invisible forces and I didn't understand what it was. And even though I was still occasionally using it, I wasn't trained as a master. And it was only just under 2 years ago, I started to channel. I started to visualize and I started to channel this monk. And he came to me and he said, just wait till June. This was February, 2 years ago. Wait till June. And I was thinking, wait till June, till why? And I was just trusting the process. And in June, I came across my Feng Shui Master. He was absolutely right. I had no idea why I needed to, but I do really strongly believe everything is happening for us. We can only see what we are, the energetic vibration of, and I just wasn't ready at that point to start it. And I'd learnt mastery and realised that every home has its own energetic imprint.
Yeah.
So it's like an astrology reading, really. Like the day that we're born, we all have our own astrology chart. The day that a home is created. So when the home is dug up, that's the earth, the earth connection. And then when the roof is put on, that's the heaven connection. And then when the people move in, that's a people connection. So it's heaven, earth, and people. And that home, and depending on the facing direction, has its own energetic imprint. So some areas of the home will be good for certain things like health. Some areas will be good for money, and it's all about balancing all of that energy to regulate your nervous system, to get the most out of everything. So I finally, it was about September, October 2023, when I'd trained in mastery, I really, really understood it fully, put all of my cures in place. And I said, right, this is who I want to be. I want to be more successful. I want to be known in the world. I want to be famous. I painted my front door red. And the next day, got an opportunity to be on TV as a Feng Shui Master. Like, how can that happen? I really
Danny comes home and I've painted the door red. I'll be like, it wasn't me, it was Karena.
Well, depending on the facing direction, there's a best like colour, there's a best element for each home. And I don't think, obviously, if I hadn't done any of the work that I'd done before, just painting your door red, it sounds ridiculous. It's not going to be the one thing. But in my head, that was enough for me to switch my identity to say, I'm ready. Yeah. And I'm ready to do this. So the opportunity, the synchronicity just came out of nowhere, and it was wonderful. And that was only within 4 weeks. And then I'd put up a Canva print. I created this like kind of vision board saying I'm going to be in OK magazine. I'm going to be in all these magazines. And I was in like 15 media articles, including like OK twice, within 4 to 6 weeks after that. So it massively amplifies it. But yeah, I think one of the things, the process of manifestation, people say let go. And if your home isn't balanced, we spend like up to 80% of our time in our homes. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is like one of my gurus that I follow, who's 30 years in manifestation and doing all this work, he says that we spend like 70% of our time in a state of stress. So if we're not calm and we're not relaxed and our nervous systems aren't regulated, we're not sending the right signal out, we're not calling it back with our hearts, we're not in a state of peace, then it's really difficult to actually let go of needing it. And I find that now that I'm trained and I understand it fully and how to balance the elements of the home, it really, really does help you to just be able to let go. And I know, and people say to me, oh, but you're single, why haven't you manifested a man then if everything's perfect? And I just think, I'm at peace with it. That's the difference. I'm totally, absolutely convinced I'm in this state that I know it's coming and it's going to happen when it's going to happen. But
Absolutely.
I'm on the right path, and right now my focus is my children and my business, and I just feel wonderful, and it's just a lovely business to have as well, because I wake up in the morning and I get a text or a WhatsApp pic. Here's my new lamp that I bought, and here's my new salt lamp, and do you like my crystals? I'm like, how can you not enjoy that?
That is gorgeous. I love that. That's super cute. I think it's I think whenever anyone's working within manifestation in like the way that we do, and people are like, well, how do you not have everything? It's like, well, because we're also human and our nervous systems have their own capacity. And also it depends on, where our priorities are and where our attention's going to.
Focus.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think one of the things when I first started kind of like looking into this, and it looked so confusing because you have like these compasses and like these maps and things that you have to like place over your home, and it looks really, really complex. But I think the way that you do it, you kind of simplify it and say, talk about the elements and just bringing those into your home. So bringing like the outside in. So can you tell us a little bit more about that for someone who's never looked at this before and they're like, well, what can I do? Like, I've got a couple of plants that are dying. There's crystals everywhere, but is there anything else that I can look at?
There's a lot you can do, and I do use a low shoot compass. I can't get my words out today. I do use a compass. So we want to know the direction of the home, and when you're doing a full home report, there's like obviously north, northeast, east, south. Every area as a standard bagua is representative of a certain place and a certain part of your life. So when it comes to the normal bagua, people might want to get a piece of paper now and write these down. But it's really helpful to know the north is representative of the career. The northeast is like wisdom and spirituality, and that's like the knowledge area. The east is the family. If you've got any family issues, then go to that area first and focus on that area. Southeast is money. And I know when I say this that some people will say, oh, well, they'll hear things on the internet that is just absolute rubbish. It's came over from the east and it's been translated into some not so great. Some people would think it's the back left. It's not the back left. It's the southeast of the home. Now, that's the money area. If you've got your bins there, move them out of the way. Trash cans. If you have toilets there, that's money going down the drain. And I'm sure there'll be people listening going, oh, no, what do I do?
My toilet's in the southeast.
There's always a cure. There's always a cure.
Yeah.
Keep your bathroom clean. Keep the toilet lid down. Like, keep the bathroom door closed. Keep the bathroom as clean as possible, and use just slightly outside of that as a wealth area, and just keep that clean. Like, have pictures up of money or have plants in there. You can do things in every single area, and there's always a cure. The south is a fame and reputation, so that's where I placed my Canva picture.
Love it.
Southwest is marriage and relationship. The west is young children and creativity.
Oh.
The northwest is travel and helpful people. So that's a good area to have a globe or something that is going to represent like going abroad or a photograph of the people that you want to work with. So we work with all of these areas. And what we want to do, they naturally have their own inherent energies. And there's also something called flying stars. So each home will have its own energetic imprint. So every area that I just mentioned has got a set money area, an element, and a set relationship and health element. So those are fixed for each of the home, like the astrology chart.
Yeah.
But what you can do, and that's what I would use the compass for, and to find what that home is, where those energies are, how they impact people, how they combine. Now, all of these energies are related to the 5 elements that we have naturally in nature. So we have earth, fire, water, metal, and wood. And wood is only representative. People think it's like wooden furniture. It's not. It's only representative of the colour greens and live living plants. So I would say if you have dying plants, you get rid of them.
There's just one that's struggling right now. I don't know why he's struggling.
Well, it might be in an area. It's a really, really good representation of is the element energy good in that area. And if you've got dying plants or you've got loads of spiders or creatures or bugs or things like that's an area that is not great. Dogs will normally show you as well. They'll go into an area that is good and balanced. Cats not so much. Yeah, but dogs would tend to go towards positive energy and areas.
Oh.
So yeah, each of these 5 elements, we have earth, fire, water, wood, metal. They all either support each other or they reduce the energy or destroy the other energy. So we think about it in a way like the energy that's moving around the home naturally. There are 9 flying stars that I use, and they all have their places. So all of these energies have their place in every single home.
Yeah.
So this year, for instance, we have a really strong earth energy, which is very, very overpowering in the south. that now earth represents groundedness, but too much groundedness means you don't get any work done, you procrastinate, you're stuck. Yeah.
Stuck in the mud.
You need metal energy, because metal there is going to weaken the strong earth energy. It's going to take away any like bad luck that you might cause or anything like that, and it will disperse the groundedness. But the metal energy supports mental clarity. So I can walk into a home and I can see very often if there's a home that is full of creams and magnolias and all those kinds of colors, it's overloaded with earth energy. Now, might be very grounded, but they probably don't make decisions easily. They're probably not moving forward in their life. They probably feel stuck.
Yeah.
And I had someone just last week, one of my clients, saying, oh, for some reason I just can't work out, and it was in the area of the south. And I said, just move where you're working out. Get your metal element there and move, like go into another room. And she said instantly she was able to do her workout in the other room, and she couldn't put her hands on, she couldn't put her finger on what it was, but it's this strong invisible force. The same as we have the quantum field, even electricity, we have these invisible forces that we don't know and we're not aware of. But when we can balance them and we know the cycle of the elements and which supports it, which reduces which, it can really, really change things pretty quickly. So wood supports growth. So we want upward growing plants to support growth.
Makes sense.
And fire supports passion and drive and moving forward. And water supports money, abundance, and flow. So if you're not in a state of flow, you might want to bring a water feature in. If you haven't got much mental clarity, or you're overthinking, you might have too much water. I think it's the same, like often see clients with ADHD or like just people who overthink and they're in their heads a lot, and their homes are very, very white and grey. And that is very common as well. So you might want to bring in some earthy energies to reduce that, like some creams, just with rugs and different colours.
Yeah.
A little bit of reds and oranges that represent fire, and they increase passion and drive. And I noticed a massive difference when I started to put in like brighter lights, red colours. We just like how alive I felt. I literally like bounced out of bed every day.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It really does make a big difference. So water supports wood. So if you think about in nature, you obviously need to water your plants. So if you had a wood element, right now we have a pretty good wood energy in 2025, 2026 in the northeast. And so if you want to support that, you could put a water feature there, and that will support that wood energy. So that will mean that you're in growth, you're growing, and it's also the wisdom area. You're growing and you're in flow. So you're feeling good. And then in the east, we have an earth energy this year, which is a really good energy for money and for relationships. And that earth is supported by fire. And these are like the natural cycles in nature. So you could put a candle there or some kind of red element there, and that will likely energize the family area. I would personally put photos of me. I have loads of photos of me and my family and me and my children together, like close photos, close together in that area, and it makes a big difference for the family.
Nice.
And we have a fire energy in the southeast for money this year, which is all about like, it's a really strong energy. And we have the year of the fire horse, so you don't want to put too much fire. But if you were to put a plant there, if you think about, you throw wood on a fire to make it grow, then you can have a plant there to make the money grow in the home this year. And if you got too much, like it can cause anger, like too much passion, then you just want to reduce it. Or you're too in your head and you're too excited and you can't sleep. So there's different places to place them as well. So in your bedroom, you want like a yin, calm energy. And then that's also where we come in with the yin and the yang. So the yin energy is the calm, feminine, the inflow energy, which is earth and water. And if you think about like a stream, that's slow running water. If you think about the rocks, they represent the earth, they are calm. And then the fire and the wood, they're growing, and the metal energies, they're all yang active energy. So we've got to, it is a delicate balance, putting them in the right places. But the flying stars has really, really made a difference. And I know sometimes it sounds mad, but the south energy this year, the number 5 star can cause accidents. And I know it's activated by red. So I'd really do my best to avoid red. And sometimes, like if I go in the kitchen and I break a glass or a plate or something, I say to my daughter, have you got your red pajamas in that area? And they go, no, I haven't done that. I haven't. Just go and check. And then they'll come down and go, they were there.
I'm so sorry, it was the pajamas.
It sounds ridiculous that a colour can do that, but like, how do we even explain life? We can't really, can we? I mean, how do you explain that a baby becomes a life form? There's so many invisible forces that we can't explain, but I tried and tested it, and it's just magic.
And everything is energy, right?
Yes,
so
everything
it kind
is
of
energy.
makes sense. I think I am 99% sure my house is facing towards the southeast, so I'm not going to paint my front door red.
No.
That's not going to work. No, I am pretty sure we are facing southeast. But I love this as well, because these elements are what witches work with. So I've worked with these, like whenever we do circles or like rituals and things, we work with the same elements. The only exception is metal, so we would just call that spirit, but it's the same. It's that clarity and to help the overthinking. I think it's really funny you mentioned like the white and grey though, and I saw something, I think it was on like TikTok or Instagram, and it was like, show me a millennial's house that isn't all grey. And I was like, oh my god, I am a typical millennial, because we had like grey sofa, grey carpet in the hall, even like the laminate in here is like white kind of grey, and then like the walls are white. And I was like, oh my god, I have been a stereotypical millennial. So then I was like, right, well, we're changing the curtains. So we've now got green curtains, and then there's pink upstairs, and then there's blue in the hallway, and then there's orange in one of the bedrooms. And I was like, we need some colour in here, because I can't believe that I have unknowingly, I think it must have been a trend at one point when all of us were buying our first homes, that we were like, let's make everything grey and white.
It was a trend, but I also really, really strongly believe that we're an energetic vibration to the home that we move into. And we're an energetic match to everything. So like when I do Feng Shui reports, I can tell whether it's right or not because of the energy there. So I've had people, I literally will have people manifest things within a day or 2 days from changing the energy. And I've seen things like, I can tell what kind of work they do. I've had one person in particular who's in the military, and he had this gunfighting energy in his bedroom, which was a match. And it's like there's so many hundreds of combinations that you can have, and that particular energy to have in his bedroom, I know that was him because he was in the military, and that's the energy that he was aligned with, that he moved into. So you can move into a home that is not good for money at the time that you move in, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to stay that way. So you've got the option of being able to change it, because we change all the time. All it means is that if you're in a home that isn't good for money, you just matched that when you moved in. But as we do this manifestation work and mindset work and change our identities and do everything, like as we raise our own vibration, I felt like when I was doing this work, I probably spent over a year and a half doing shadow work, and I was crying and crying and crying. I realised, well, I needed to do what I needed to do. That was just where I was in my life. But the centre of my home was like my dining room, and that was all blue. And so there was way too much water energy in the centre of the home, and that was creating this. but it wasn't really creating, it was just supporting me staying in that vibration.
Yeah,
As
like
soon as I changed that, it just completely switched. So I now have a pink wall. I love my pink wall, and my pink wall is in the southwest. Pink represents love.
Nice.
And the southwest is the relationships, partnerships area. But it's not just marriage. It can be partnerships in business. It can be friendships. And so literally find that I just feel so much love in my life since I did it. And it's not all pink. The rest of the walls are like a nice cream.
I totally have it all pink. I've got like visions now of a gorgeous like Barbie house.
Yeah, it's not a Barbie house. And actually, when I did it, I kept thinking, well, I've been trained to say, you don't want to have a bedroom or your home all this one colour that like will stop a man wanting to be there, or white and grey and blue that will stop a woman wanting to be there, or vice versa, whatever. And when you're calling in a partner, you want it to be balanced so that they feel balanced as well. But every man that I've had that's come into my home, my dad, my family, all friends, they've loved this big wall. So it's not too feminine.
Exactly. What would you say for anyone who's in like a smaller home, if they start to look at the directions and then they're like, well, hang on, in like my living room, I've got like 3
you can still
areas.
Have 3. You just want to use the elements. There's always more than one element or more than one thing that you can do. So you have a destructive cycle and you have a reducing cycle. And if you've got too much wood, for instance, in the west we have a really, really strong wood energy. You just don't want to put any plants there. You don't want to use the colour green, and you could just you can just add colour with like a little bit of a cushion. So on one side of my living room we'll have 2 red cushions, but on the other side I have a water feature. Just you don't want to have these 2 clashing energies that are right next to each other. But as long as you have all the elements, and the element that connects them, that uses up both fire and water, is wood. So if you have a plant in between, that's what you would use in the kitchen as well, because obviously we have a lot of energy fire from the cooker and a lot of energy of water from the sink. So if you place a tea towel that's green, a plant in between, it's balancing the energy between the 2 and they're not clashing with each other.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? For anyone who is perhaps like me and struggles to keep plants alive, unless they are cactus or succulents,
no,
they're okay.
Cactus is not good.
I've only got one cactus. I've had them since I was how old was I when I got this cactus? Oh, flipping heck, I think it must be about 20 years ago now. I got this cactus in Gran Canaria, and somehow it's still going, but it's in the ensuite.
A cactus is the best place for a cactus is outside at the back of your home, because anything spiky is not good feng shui. What we want with feng shui is flow, and feng shui actually means wind and water. And how it all came about was, so many years ago they used to build the homes in a specific place, and they found that with the water flowing in a particular way and the energy around them of the earth, we call it a mountain in feng shui, but the mountain energy at the back in traditional classical feng shui is that the home is protected by the wind then. And so when you have the right flow of wind and water around the home and the right placement on the land, then it's really good energy that's coming outside the home. So the feng shui actually starts outside the home, comes in.
Yeah.
So you don't want anything thorny, prickly. Like, you think about it, if you had a 5-year-old, if they find the front of the home attractive and they want to come in, and they wouldn't hurt themselves by touching a thorn on a rose or holly or a cactus or anything like that, if they can walk in, you can open the door freely, get where you want to get to, not tripping over shoes or coats or anything like that, and walking in.
Definitely are here right now.
If you have roses, cacti, anything spiky, you want to put it at the back of the house, because that's protection. Yeah, you're protecting from any negative energy or anything coming in.
Yeah,
Whereas
our roses are in the back.
Home, that's good. inside the home, we want everything to be as free flowing as possible. So
Mm.
even on the corners of like desks and tables, I still have the little baby
Oh, the little protector things.
protectors. Yeah.
Oh,
Protectors, and that softens the edges. And you
that's
can
so
also
cute.
soften the corners of things with tablecloth or
Yeah.
like any kind of softer material drapes, things like that. And that softens the energy. So we want the energy to flow. So if you think about it as a person, if you have really pointed corners, if a person bumped into that corner, it would hurt and they would just be like, get annoyed, angry energy. That's the same with the energy, just because it's invisible. When something hits the corner, if you have really pointed corners, you can get irritable and you can get these angry, negative energy. So we want to soften everything that we can and allow a free flow of energy throughout the home. So there's a lot more to it than just decluttering, but decluttering really is the first stage, because when it comes to manifestation, people listening to this, obviously it's all about manifesting.
Yeah.
We want to create our homes and set up our homes in a way that we are identifying as. And if you're saying to yourself, my identity is abundant, you can say all the affirmations in the world, I'm abundant, I'm abundant. But if you're walking into broken items and looking at a pile of housework that you haven't put away, you're constantly subconsciously telling yourself, I haven't finished that, I don't do that, I'm lazy, I'll do it later. That's not the identity. You're not aligning with the identity of an abundant person.
Yeah.
If you walk into, like in Feng Shui, we talk about it as, think about the home as a king would live. So when you walk into a home, a king would not have shoes all over the front of the home. They wouldn't have their coats hanging. And I understand there's probably not everyone can have somewhere to put them.
Yeah.
But as long as you can put them further away, or even just put them in a basket.
Yeah, we've got a basket.
Do the easiest thing.
Yeah.
I had a client who had dozens of shoes all over the place and his energy was so scattered, and she said, oh well, we've got a place in the garage, so I'm trying to teach 4 children to go and take the shoes into the garage. And I said, do what's easiest, because it's going to take them a long time to get into that habit of moving them, putting them, going into it through the hallway, through the kitchen, into the garage, into a different room. Get a basket.
Yeah.
So they get into a habit of taking them off and putting them straight in the basket, and it makes such a difference. Then you allow the energy to come into your home.
Yeah. Nice, easy fix.
Yeah, very easy fix.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Shoe basket, more for a shoe basket. No, it's the coats. I think the coats are the hardest thing. So half our coats are actually in the loft when we're not using them. But when I moved in here, they already had like a little coat like rack. So it's like behind the front door. So that's where they've lived for nearly 9 years.
Oh, we'll see if there's anywhere else they can go.
I know.
It is surprising when you start thinking about it, because I used to have mine right by the front door as well, and I just moved them onto different doors, and now I start to put most of them in the wardrobes or like closet somewhere else, like you say, put them away. But when you're not using them, you know, usually in the UK at least, we have winter coats and summer coats.
Yeah, you're using one coat, aren't you, right now? There's only one coat you're wearing at the minute.
Yeah, so you just keep that one. And if there's somewhere else, like in a utility or somewhere else that it can go, it's much, much better out of the way in a room or somewhere that is not used as much. But even reducing it is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I love all of this. It's fascinating. And you have a gorgeous membership, I believe, as well, where you talk about this every week.
I do. It's not just this. It is
all the things.
It is all the things. There's just so much to Feng Shui. And I tell people, please don't please don't use ChatGPT, and please don't look at the internet, because you can get so much absolute rubbish from there. Go to someone who's trained and knows what they're doing. And everything that I do is tried and tested with my own life, with my children, with my family, with my friends, and with so many clients. And I've seen massive impacts on people. Helped someone to sell a business, and she was going to sell it for like 600,000, and then it ended up being 2.6 million, because she was adamant it's going to be 2.6 million. I had someone who, well, family who had issues with kidneys, and they had these specific energies that of water affects the kidneys. So every area in the home affects not just health, but a certain person in the home as well. So there's really a lot to it. And both a couple had kidney issues, like serious kidney issues, one sepsis, one kidney failure. And this energy in the bedroom was the bad earth that causes sickness with the water energy. And when we're able to balance that with metal and allow a free flowing, within a couple of months, those operations that they didn't know existed before came out of nowhere, and then they're healed within a matter of months. So it really can be quite magical. So I love teaching this. I do a live class every Wednesday, and we don't just talk about Feng Shui. We talk about manifesting, getting into the identity. We do inner child work, as I'm a trained hypnotherapist. We have meditations in there, hypnosis audios, manifesting abundance. And I've got some incredible testimonials already just from starting just before Christmas. I did 8 weeks as a beta test, and I'm still really testing it, so it's still at a reduced price at the moment. But there's loads of videos in there. There's a big Feng Shui guide, the Flying Stars guide for this year, and we have abundance meditations, health meditations, and all sorts of things. And I'm open to suggestions. I'm doing one for new jobs this week, hypnosis audio, and another one for giving up vaping and smoking and giving up alcohol. There's weight loss, there's all sorts of things, and it covers so much. And I absolutely love it. It's in school, so there's a community as well. Even though I only started with 20 people, we've had like 6 or 7 turning up fairly regularly for the 8 weeks. We got one lady who manifested a car in just a week. We had another lady who has health issues. She was walking with a stick, and she started to throw the stick away a lot of the time. Now she's walking out without it. We got another lady who's 10 times her prices. So it really can be magical. I feel like how I love to explain Feng Shui is like the difference between moving with the energy of your home and moving as if you've got like 6 or 7 friends all supporting you towards your goals, or you have 6 or 7 friends who say, don't do that, why are you doing that, and pushing against you. So it's not like you just change all the energy in your home and you automatically are going to magically jump into this millionaire lifestyle. You still need to continue to do the work that it takes to get what you want to get, to achieve what you want to achieve and move forward. But you just feel like you're doing it in flow.
Yeah, and gorgeous. And it's the environment is just, it's such an impact, as we've said throughout the whole of this episode. You know, you'll feel it as well. Like, we know when we go into a space where the energy is just not pleasant, like you feel it.
Yeah,
you can sense it.
You can sense when someone's had an argument, and you can say you say things like, oh, you can cut the energy with a knife, or
you really can.
You really can, and even the command position, like being able to sit at the desk and being able to see the door from your entrance and being in the right place. That's the same for the bed, it's the same for the sofa. It makes sense, because if you've got your back to the door, it energetically is saying, I don't know what's coming, and you're sitting in a place of anxiety and anxiousness and not knowing what's coming, and that's what shows up in your life. You don't know what's coming. When you turn your desk, your chair, to be able to see the door, and even if you can't, you put a mirror so that you can see the door, it completely changes how you feel. And you know, sometimes you'll like walk into a room and think, oh, I want to sit at that table at a restaurant or that, and you just feel drawn to it, don't you? That's
so true.
But knowing how these energies work and why that is, it just makes you so much more like alive and aware. And that a lot of energetic work and manifestation work is becoming conscious, becoming aware of the unconscious.
A huge part of our missions is to help the collective with this. So I love it. I've got one final question for you. As you know, every guest leaves a question for another guest, and we've kind of touched on some elements of this, but the question is, what myth about manifestation have you personally shattered?
Oh,
Probably a few.
that is a good question. I think the biggest myth is that it's all about mindset, because you can absolutely change everything in your mindset, but if the emotions in your body are like the glue that stick the beliefs in place. So people might say, as soon as you get rid of this belief that you are not enough, everything changes. But if your body doesn't change and your limbic system doesn't accept that, you're never going to change the mindset. So it's all about the body. It's all about how we feel. And for me, Feng Shui is just like bringing that feeling of being in nature, bringing that feeling of being on the beach into your home. And when you feel like that at home, you can do anything.
Who doesn't want to feel like they're at the beach when they're at home?
Feels amazing.
Or in the mountains or by a lake.
Yeah, exactly. Nature.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much. And for anyone who has not yet found you on socials or online, where's the best place for people to find you?
On Instagram at The Graceful Healer.
Gorgeous. And we'll pop all your links and your info in the show notes as well. But then, people can discover you and reach out. But thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure. And I'm going to go and see if I can find a home for my coats now.
Yay.
Thank you so much, my lovely. And to our lovely listeners, we will see you next week on the next episode. Take care.
Bye.
Manifestation has evolved, and if you're seeing this, it means that you have too, because you have consciously connected to this information because you are ready to receive it. Now, you're probably finding that your old tools and techniques are no longer manifesting for you in the way that they used to, and this is because you have connected to a higher level of consciousness, and you know that there is much more to manifesting than what you have been taught so far. And as a witch, it pains me to say this, but manifestation is not magic. It is about science and it is about energy. And that is exactly what I'm going to teach you in my free workshop that you can sign up for right now, where we're still going to look at your favorite tools, but we're going to make sure that they're not hindering you. And we're also going to look at your tarot as a psychological mirror, so you can diagnose your current energetic frequency and how that is actually impacting on what you are manifesting right now. And then we're going to go one step further and we're going to catch you into that higher consciousness, so you can see how I bridge the science and the spirituality as a psycho-spiritual manifestation coach, which is what no one else is going to teach you and no one else is going to share with you. So do sign up to the free workshop and I will see you there, so we can make sure your manifestations are inevitable, repeatable, and most importantly, reliable.